Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and today we're talking about the top 5 USA-made knives under $100. Now, we're going to show some honorable mentions because this was very difficult for me to do. A lot of knives, especially the USA-made knives, went up in price. So 2 years ago, we'd have a really nice list. This year, we're struggling a bit. And I will admit, the best bang for your buck is going to be directly over $100. Starting at $115, you can get the Spyderco lightweights, the pair of 3s, the Manix lightweights. That's the way to go. If you really want to get the best bang for your buck, just over $100, right around $115, you can get amazing USA-made knives. But when we're talking about under $100, that's where the struggle begins. Right here, we have the Buck Bantam. It is an honorable mention. It is a simple steel, tip down, but Buck does a good job with their heat treat, and these are under $30. Also, like the Buck 110, I did not want to throw on this list because I think we've went a long way since the Buck 110 came out, but the straight old timer, the Buck 110s, they are still very reliable and time tested. They have survived so long and like through so many generations, and maybe not so many generations, but they've survived. I mean, there's people still carrying ones that are from like this one right here. This one's from like the late 80s, and it's still like brand new. No, it hasn't been used a lot, and it's been kept in good condition, but the point is they survive. They are tough knives that survive. And I do want to bring up the USA-made rat knives. Now, they have the rat 3, the rat 4, 5. They go all the way up to a machete size, but the rat 3 specifically, you can get these for right around $65. $10.95 steel, robust geometry, Micarta scales, and there is different options, but this specific option you can get very affordably, and it is a great little camp knife made in the USA. So I do want to shout out the Ontario rat knives, and like I said, there's a whole series of them of all different sizes, all the way up to a machete size. They are very reliable, and they have the best warranty. The absolute best. I can break this right now on purpose and they will replace it. So that is the best warranty you can possibly get in the knife industry. The list. Let's get into it. So we have knives like Bear Ops. Now, this, I don't consider these like the best USA made knives, so it's kind of just another honorable mention. But the Bear Ops knives, Bear & Sons, they do offer USA made knives under $100, and in this case, this one's an S30V and is a pretty good one. It is a scaled steel liner lock S30V blade with a hollow ground drop point bead blasted finish, and it is not assisted, so it has a pretty good detent. This one is not bad at all. It's a little rough around the edges, but considering USA made under $100, deep carry clip that does work very well, easy access to the lock bar, nice and smooth on the drop. The detent is pretty solid. This is a great option, and it's S30V steel. I can't speak for the heat treat too much. Then we have the Kershaw Launch 4. Now, all the Launch series knives from Kershaw, they're all USA made, the Kershaw Launch series. However, they all went over $100 now. The only one you can still get is the Kershaw Launch 4, which is just under $100. It is a Cali legal automatic, and it has CPM 154 steel. I sharpened mine into just a little razor blade because I was using it at work. And I'm not a huge fan of CPM 154, but still, USA made, Kershaw, under $100, and it's an auto. And it's Cali legal. Then we have, and yeah, I didn't want to make all this whole list Kershaw's, guys, but we're here. We're here. I'm sorry. But we have the Kershaw Skyline in 20 CV. So 20 CV, USA made, under $100. $99, I think it is. Not assisted either. Not assisted. Now, the detent is very light on this, but you can give it a little flick, a little snap of the finger or a push button, and it will reliably open. It does get smoother and smoother over time, and it becomes more and more reliable. But the detent is light. You do have thumb stud action, but the thumb studs are very close to the scale, and they are very small, so they're a little sharp, and the flipper is probably the most reliable. Now, this knife is smaller than I thought it was going to be, but still, 20 CV, USA made. I think that's pretty awesome. And like I said, it is more of a small to medium sized knife. And yeah, there you go. The Kershaw Skyline. Next we have more USA made Kershaws. We have the Kershaw Knockout. Now these are assisted knives, the Kershaw Knockout, the Kershaw BLURR, and the Kershaw Dividend. I would put them all in the same category. You can't go wrong with either one. The Kershaw Knockout, the Kershaw BLURR, and the Kershaw Dividend. Now, these are in 14C 28M blade steel. Nice reliable action because they are assisted. So they have a spring inside them that pushes the blade out once you start deploying it. But good geometry on this. And this thing, if you can't tell, this thing's been through hell and back. This thing has been heavy used. I mean, hard used to the max. It has been beaten up, and it is still kicking, which I can't believe. 100% lockup, but it's still ticking, and that has to say something. So the Kershaw Knockout is an awesome USA made knife under $100. And it's in 14C 28M blade steel. Love that steel. I do think Kershaw's running it a little softer than I prefer, but still a fantastic steel, and it still does do really good, even if the HRC is a little bit softer. Then we have the Kershaw LEEK, which is probably my most recommended knife, especially from a USA line like Kershaw. So mine is de-assisted, but it is an assisted knife. 14C 28M blade steel again, hollow ground Wharncliffe blade. This is such a little badass knife. I mean, the blade shape is so good for detailing work. It is small, thin blade stock, nice and slicey. And, you know, normally it is assisted since mine is not. No, it does not work good de-assisted. There's no detent at all, but I don't care. I just did not want the assist no more. I have mine in a tip down configuration because when you put it tip up, a lot hangs out of your pocket. But what a great little knife. And this one, I've done drywall with this. I've done construction with this. This thing has survived a lot and is still kicking. There are so many different options with this. You have sheep's foot versions. They have all different colors. And you can get them for really affordably, like right around $40 all the way up to $65, $70. It just depends on which one, if not higher. But yeah, the Kershaw LEEK. One of my most recommended knives from the USA under $100. And then probably my favorite USA made knife under $100. We do have another one coming up here in a second, but the Kershaw Bareknuckle. This knife, 14C 28M blade steel. This one's probably been sharpened 35, 40 times. It has been sharpened a lot. It has been through a lot. It has been hard used. The tip is bent, but not assisted. Great detent. I wish Kershaw would do more knives like this. This is such a great knife. Aluminum scales with a subframe lock. Same thing like the Knockout we checked out. Deep carry clip. Great action. Super snappy. And I love the sheep's foot blade. One of my favorite blade shapes. This one's been sharpened a lot. So it used to be a lot broader. It used to be probably about like that. But, you know, after years of hard use, this thing still does not have late lockup, not too late at least. It is rock solid, and yeah, I can't recommend this one enough. This is my most recommended and my favorite USA made knife under $100 is the Kershaw Bareknuckle. But we do have one more, and it is the Spyderco Penknife. This is a UK legal knife because it is a slip joint, but this thing is pretty cool. So when you open it, it stops here, and then you open it all up, and the clicks are nice and strong. There's something satisfying about this one. CTS BD1N steel. You can do it all one-handed. And I can flick it, but it takes a little bit of wrist pop, and you can do it. Because you got to overcome both of the stops, or the one stop, not two stops, but you have to overcome this stop right here. But even the slow roll, there's something satisfying about it. And in the open position, this is a nice, strong open position. Like, just to break that open position, it does take quite a bit of strength. So, very comfortable in the hand. I think Spyderco does the best FRN you can get. Love their FRN, and I don't like FRN, but Spyderco does a good job. Wire clip, deep carry wire clip that is reversible. And it's comfortable, fantastic little blade shape. Because the open position is so strong, it really lets you get your finger up there for utility cuts. You can slice with it, nice slicey blade. And Spyderco does the best heat treat in the business. They do the best heat treat. So I highly recommend this little guy, especially if you like slip joints or if you're in the UK or places where you can't have locking knives. Fantastic option. I cannot recommend this one enough. But as far as the best of the best USA made, it is going to be the Kershaw USA line. Most of them are assisted, I admit, but you do have a couple non-assisted options. Not the best detent on the Kershaw Skyline, but you have a fantastic detent on this one. You just don't want to put pressure on the lock bar as far as when you first get it. Over time you can, like mine right now, I can put all the pressure in the world, but mine's broken in. So at first, just, don't put pressure on the lock bar when you deploy it. But yes, the Kershaw USA made knives are the best of the best for the USA made knives under $100. There you guys go. Like I said before though, the sweet spot, just over $100. $115 plus, you can get amazing, amazing, amazing USA made knives. I love you guys. Peace.